American culture changed so rapidly after 1950s, everything changed completely. My grandmother, born in 50s. At the time, for him is quite amazing. She missed everything. The time milk delivered by truck, and they left the empty bottles. Many kids play in ground and around the house. Many things completely changed now. Kids and teen make TikTok videos at ground and road. Phones completely take over. Every human generally were slave of it. The 1950s were a time of prosperity for the US. Poverty and crime were at all-time low, but racism is a big problem in 1950s until the 70s, before racism was noticeably, and it reduced among whites in 80s. 80s were the time when racism is at the lowest level, and religion place Protestantism was dominant and strict, and Catholics were often treated like second-class citizens, but people prejudiced with Jew and Muslim were unheard. Minorities of American don't know about Islam, but after 9/11 whole America recognized them, and now Muslims suffer from prejudice from the whole world. 1950s, the time when people don't know about feminism, and it's the time of innocence, but also a time when women who's not married is quite shameful in society. People who were divorced were often considered as defective lives. A divorced woman was considered a slut. Suicide was also a huge shame. Abortion was considered as illegal but in high demand among teenage girls who trusted the wrong boy and got pregnant. It's a big shame for their family. Hispanic population is in minority, around 2% or 3%, and almost negligible at the time. Only 2 million Hispanic and around 400,000 Asian. Indian are almost nil. Major groups are Chinese. Dress codes were rather strict for women's. Pregnant women drank alcohol as she, and nobody knew the alcohol's effects on pregnancy yet. Neighbors knew each other and people were out and about in their neighborhoods. Meanwhile, an enjoyable life. TVs were expensive, not everyone afford them, only rich and very few people owned them. Sports were normal, everyone played them as a kid and many adults as well, but physically, not mentally. On phone, women were rarely allowed to do anything. There had no birth control and no control over their bodies. In 50s, women couldn't work as man. Many women beaten by their husband daily at night. It's very common. Only 1.7% of female went to college throughout the 1950s, and they were bullied that time, and in society everyone wore a uniform. The businessman wore a suit, the milkman wore a milkman's uniform, and policeman wear police uniform. And many things I can't tell you in a single video.